Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Joy Elizabeth and I just take you guys along on my embroidery journey. So today I already started. I did 3 of these laptop bags. And why I want to bring this video to y'all today is because this is one of those jobs I literally am sweating through. Like, this is definitely a harder to hoop item. It doesn't look like it would be. It looks like it would be fairly easy, but she really, honestly, where my client wanted it was down here in this corner of this pocket. And when I first looked at it, I said, oh yeah, sure, I can do it on, I figured I could do it on my older version machine. I still have the pocket clamp that fits my 1201. If you're interested in the pocket clamp and you have one of the newer embroidery machines, and you just got to wait a little bit longer. They're about to release it, but I thought for sure I could do it. Like, I could get this in there, and I told her I might not get in the corner, but we could do it centered. And I thought, okay, great. Clamped it on, put it in, tried to trace it. Literally, I needed an inch more in this pocket. I couldn't get it on the machine. So I had to apologize to my client and just tell her it was not going to work there. And then I gave her 2 options. I said we could either do it centered, which is kind of what I was hoping for, or we could do it here in this corner. She liked doing it in the corner. So, all right, so we're going to do it in the corner. A couple things we have to work around is we've got this pocket on the inside here. So I will show you on the next one. I'm done with these full color ones. On these teal bags that I have, it's just going to be one solid color. But that doesn't really matter for the hooping. So this is just one that's, it's just hard. So what I do is I end up pinning this up, but see, like, because she wanted it, if it was in the center, it would have been so much easier. Because she wants it in the corner, it's just real finicky to get that to pin up where you want it to pin. And then this part is fine. You just kind of make sure that this isn't caught in the machine. So yes, and then no hoop is really gonna hoop that so close in the corner there where she wants it. So what I'm going to use today is the shoe device. And literally, y'all, I just turned my little air conditioner off because it was gonna be too loud for the video. But when I say I was sweating through it, and then, like, when I first had it on, after it does the butterfly first. It finished the butterfly. Like, I had traced out, because you know, I trace out like 50 billion times. Traced out 100 times, and everything was fine. But then when it cut the thread for the butterfly, the machine to like do its cut, it moves this way and out, and it bumped the back of those clamps because I had it hooped up. I think I had it shoved into, like, in the clamps, I had this up in too far or something. So it bumped them, and I knew as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be off register. Whew. So what I ended up doing was, and I don't even know how to explain it. I probably should have videoed it, but when you're in the moment, like, so stressful. So I didn't video it for y'all to show you how you would, like, fix something that got off registration. Maybe someday I will give you guys a video how I attempt to fix things, but usually when I'm in that moment, I'm just stressing. So what I ended up doing was going back as many stitches to get it right on the tip of the wing, okay? And then I pulled that needle down, which is nice on the new machine that the needle kind of stays down, and I actually had to unhoop it and then, like, wiggle it around until that center was right where I knew it needed to be, and then I could finish stitching it out. It worked. Y'all, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe one day I will. Okay, so all that being said, this is just definitely one of those harder to hoop items. So I just finished these 3. Wanted to make sure that I could do it before I made a video. And I wasn't even honestly planning on doing a video today. But like I said, I was like, you know, after doing 3 of them, I'm like, these are tricky. Maybe someone else is gonna run into a bag, and maybe you're gonna watch this video and be like, good golly, that is not worth it. I'm gonna say no if someone brings me a bag like that, and I wouldn't judge you. I would not judge you for that. But I already said yes. So I'm like, ooh, now I got to figure out how to make it work. And I was pretty confident I could get it in the corner. I just, you know, I don't know. So there's all 3 of these bags successfully, it's a hard word, embroidered. So it can be done. So I've got 5 more. Yeah, it's 8 bags total, and I thought it was 4 and 4, but it's 3 and 5. So I've got 5 of these teal bags that are going to be just a cream. It's the same logo, but she just wants it in a cream color. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to kind of point you down so you can really get in here and see what I'm doing. Again, it's just one of those things. You got to play with it till it works. And then I babysit, and I'm like watching to make sure that the thing you gotta watch is this flap on the top, and make sure that this doesn't get stitched down. And that's literally what's causing the sweat. I'm like, whew. All right, so let me turn you down and show you how I get this done. All right, so sorry, I kind of had it mocked up a little bit before I started this. Let me take my pin out so I can show y'all how I do it. Okay, so first thing is that just to make sure that they're all the same, I want the edge of my design about 2 inches from the edge. Okay, and then I pin it on. So that's pretty much where it is. It's a little bit over, but that's okay. The further over to the edge I can get it, the better, because that's really where she wants it. All right, and then this pocket's a little wonky, but it actually is kind of the same as the black ones right on the edge of that pocket. Okay, so after you have your design, kind of you know where you want it, the next thing we want to do is pin this flap up so that all of this is out of the way, especially because this design right here is going to be pretty close to the top right there. So we don't have to worry about it as much in the corner, but I still do. That's literally what was causing so much stress and sweat, because I definitely worry about it. All right, and this little tip is just kind of what I figured on the 3rd bag, but it may not be necessary. The pins might be enough, but I kind of just stuck this piece of tape up in here because I'll show you over here. When you pin this up and you go on the machine, I still worry that this is gonna fold back down. You know, I'm still like checking. The tape kind of gives it a little bit more stability, I guess. All right. So, and then even if it's stitched through the tape, that'll tear off like a tearaway, so it's fine. All right. So now it's a little finicky, like I said, in that corner. What you want to do is take some pins. Ow. Yep, I got myself. Pin it up. As much up and out of the way as you can get it without having too much bulk, because that shoe device, any of that bulk in there is gonna mess up the not tension, the grip that you want it to have. So what I try to do is get the shoe device to go below the zipper, but it doesn't on this one because of the curve of this zipper. I'll try to show you. The clamp is actually not going to clamp where I wanted it, which is why I was running into that registration problem, was because I had tried to push this up so far to get this zipper all out of the way. And then so when it did the tip of this butterfly and it shifted like this to cut the thread, the clamp on the back hit the machine, and then that's where I ran into trouble. All right, so probably don't need it pinned all the way over here, but just the more you can get out of your way and less worried about, the better. Oops. All right, hopefully that's in the same spot. I bumped my camera. All right, so this is just a scrap piece of stabilizer. You could spray it. I didn't really notice much of a difference when I sprayed and didn't spray. It seemed to be okay. So what I like to do is pin my stabilizer in or spray it if the spray will hold, but I don't know. So like the shoe device, you gotta kind of like finagle it. I don't know. You gotta, sometimes while you're trying to position it on your shoe device and you're slipping it in and you're looking at this side, the stabilizer can get, you know, crinkled up. So I don't know, maybe I'm going way too in detail here for y'all, but I like to pin it so then I don't need to think about it. I know a couple of pins. They're not, I mean, you know, this logo is so, ow, poked myself again. This logo is so tiny. Those pins are nowhere near where that logo is going to stitch. All right, so the pocket is pinned up. The stabilizer is pinned in. This is opened. So now we are ready to go place this on the shoe device. So I will try to position you the best I can over there. I usually position my camera on my ironing board that has wheels and I kind of move it around. Today I'm actually using my ironing board to hold the weight of this side of the bag. I held it for the first bag and my shoe device clamps they were closer in. They were probably, I think I had them like there, okay? So when it did its trace, it was more likely to bump, you know, the bobbin holder was more likely to bump either side. So what I ended up doing was moving this one out to right about in between these, and that just gave me more space that it traces out better. So I might not even need to support the weight of the bag, but I just figured better safe than sorry. So I'm using my ironing board back over there to kind of hold the bag up so I don't have to sit there and hold it. That also frees me up to like, I'm constantly looking, I like bend down and look under, make sure nothing's caught. Like I said, it literally causes sweat because I'm so worried that it's gonna stick. I feel better now. After doing 3 bags, I feel much better. I feel more confident, but let me just tell you, doing that first bag, whew, it was rough. All right, so let me try to position you over to the machine in a way that you will be able to see this, all right? All right, so here we go. So the shoe device is open. Let me run a trace really quick. Hopefully y'all can see that the arm of the machine isn't getting anywhere near these clamps. So as long as I can try to position this needle 1 with my crosshair, opposed to normally when you hoop stuff, I just put it on the machine and then, you know, you move your machine around to fit it. But with this, I can move it a little bit, but I know I don't want to hit these bars. So I want it as close to the middle as I want my crosshair as close to this needle 1 as I can get it, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm trying to do this without hitting the camera. All right, so, and for whatever reason on my shoe device, yours may be different. This side just is tighter than this side, and I've loosened it up all the way, but I don't know, the way that it is, this one I know I'm gonna have to wiggle a little bit more to get it in there. This one opens up really wide. Let's see, is it opened? Sometimes I don't even feel like it's opened. All right, keep poking myself. All right, I'm gonna have to move my camera up. All right, hopefully you all can still see that. I needed to move that camera so that I could get this on. Of course, you know, I didn't have any trouble, and then I go to record, and it's like, now it looks like a struggle. I don't know, it could be that pin that I got, because it's going right over a pin. I bet that's it. Hold up. I bet that's it. Let me move this pin. So I have it, see, it's like right on the edge of that pocket there. I'm gonna go ahead and I know like it looks straight because it's straight with that pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp that side down and then try to get this side. So like, and again, see, because like I open them up all the way because I want to try to get this logo over as much as possible without hitting this clamp. It's literally right on the edge. So it also messes with your eyes a little bit because, like I said, this one is going to go, the zipper is going to come through this clamp a little bit. I like to have it pushed up like this one is. But it's not this side. Okay. See, this is why I said this one is just trickier to hoop. And then I also want to make sure my pocket looks straight. Let me clamp this down and we can check and see where we're at. Also feel like that could be tighter. I almost wonder if this pocket is over further than the other one. Like if the anatomy of this teal bag is slightly different. Because, you know, I don't know if it's just because I do a lot of backpacks, but sometimes I'll hoop something super straight and then look at it and I'm like, oh my goodness, the backpack itself is wonky. Like they didn't, whoever manufactured the backpack didn't make it straight, you know? So hopefully I may have to move my clamps, but we'll see. I'm going to pull this, wiggle, wiggle. All right, so like I said, I try to make this, when I'm putting it on, line up with that crosshair, but it is slightly off, and I really, because of where this pocket is, unless I could try to hoop it inside of the pocket, but then it would be off of the zipper on this side. The only thing I could do is move my clamps in a bit. Let me just move the needle over first, see if it traces out well enough. If it does, if I feel like it's going to bump the side, then I don't know, I'll have to move something. It should, theoretically, it should be all right. All right, I'm going to do a trim because I want that needle in the upward position because there is a little bit of bulk here. So if the needle is in the down position and I'm doing a trace and it hits anything, the machine is going to think that the design is too big. I don't know. Maybe you've run into that. I've run into that a few times, so I know. Do you trace first with the needle up? And then you can pull it down like the halfway where it still bounces back up, you know? But don't pull it down all the way because it will not like that. Y'all, I traced so many times before I wanted to see it there and I let go. I'm just sorry. I don't know if it's because of where the bag starts to slope down in this corner, the way I have it pinned. I'm just like not loving the way that's looking. I think what I'm going to do, we'll see if it lets me trace. Like I said, it's probably going to be like too big. Let's see. Yeah, see. Too large. Cancel. Trim. Of course, you're going to trim right next to that zipper. Whew. Did you hear that? That bump? Okay, because it stopped way up there. I'm starting to sweat again, y'all. Part of me wants to like cut all of this stress out of this video and make it look like I know what I'm doing, but this is why. Like I did 3 of these bags, but I want you to see. Whew. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, if you were to get one of these requests, oh, I need that zipper. Okay, it had clamped on the outside of this. Remember, I want it to go on the inside of this, so I'm actually glad. And my stabilizer is unpinned. All right. Little pause here for a second. All right, so I took it off. I'm gonna try this again. Let me move this pin. Let me just take that pin out. I wonder if that's getting in my way. Hopefully my arm doesn't get in your way. It's not the best angle, but I was trying to give you a better view. Okay. All right. All right, I did end up moving my little print down a bit. I kind of looked at the other bags and I was like, I think it's further down. All right, let's just do a trace where it's at. I know it looks close to this pocket, but all right. Okay, whew, that looks a lot better to me. All right, let's try bumping it to where that's, let's just, all right, now needle up, let's do a trace. Normal trace. Okay, it didn't hit here. I think I bumped my camera though. I'm gonna take a peek. I'm gonna look right under here. I just want to see and make sure that it's not getting anywhere near this. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, beautiful. It's right on the edge, but it's not gonna hit there. Okay, so this looks good. I might. All right. All right. I just don't want it too. I don't want it too close to this pocket. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. One more trace, and I think we're ready. All right. Sorry, I bumped the camera again. All right, that feels better. Sometimes it's okay to like just reset. Okay, I just needed a minute. I was starting to sweat. I was starting to get stressed out trying to video this. It wasn't going the way I wanted it to, and I was like, I just need a minute. So I stopped recording. I pulled it off. I kind of measured the black bag, measured this one again, made sure I had it in the right spot, and then just kind of came at it fresh again. And I feel much better about this. So, like I said, this is all going to be, I got to change my colors. She wants it all one color. All right. Save. Okay. All right. So, we're pulling the pin out, pulling that out. It should be ready to go. I am going to just go ahead and hold the weight of this bag up for a little bit. And then when I stop recording, I'm going to stop it and put my the weight of my back on my ironing board. Words. Okay, here we go. All right, so I went ahead and took all the pins out and the stabilizer out, and it looks really sharp, I think. So I knew that it was quite the struggle. And sometimes our blood's literal sweat and tears go into these jobs. This was definitely one of those cases where I was stressing. So, and I've got 4 more bags, so I'm halfway through. So yay, almost done. But anyways, and I think like with each bag, it's going to get easier and easier. And when I'm not trying to record and share this with you and trying to teach you, and I can just focus, really like lock in and focus, it also, I would probably have them all done by now, but I really did want to get on here and share this with you because it is one of those jobs that was just a little bit more difficult. You're not gonna get a mighty hoop, or I mean, let me know in the comments if you know of another way that I could have possibly hooped this, but I really think that the clamps were pretty much the only way that this was going to be able to be embroidered. So I'm really glad that I have those clamps. I've only had them since, gosh, I I think I got them in December. I don't know. You probably could go back on the YouTube video that I got when I first got them. If you're interested in that, go check that out. And I show you kind of like in the raw, setting them up for the first time and just kind of the struggle, some of the struggles I had setting them up. And that's, sometimes I like to bring this like learn as you go style, because I want you to see like you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one that's sweating over a job because you feel like maybe you took on too much, or you said you could do something and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't. I couldn't do it where I told her that I could do it. So I had to apologize and say, you know, here's a couple more options, or she was more than welcome to take the bags back, and it was just going to be one of those things I wasn't able to do. I'm glad that she went ahead with it. This client in particular was one that was a referral, and it was a bit of a surprise for me. I know that I just got done recording some business, some of my business series, talking to y'all about my business, so I feel a little bit more comfortable sharing more of the business side with you. But I said in one of those videos that I'm one of the only people that do this. I'm one of the only embroiderers in town who will take in your items and embroider on them. And if you're watching this and you watched that other one, and I know I corrected it in one of my other videos, but if you didn't watch that, I apologize about the waivers. I was incorrect in saying that it's unprofessional. If you're taking items in like I do, you could consider doing a waiver. I haven't adopted that yet. It is something, because of a viewer's comment, it's something that I'm considering now. Because if I, like, say for instance, I'm pretty positive I could get these bags again. They're brand new. 4 of them are still in the packaging. There's the labels are still in the packaging, so I'm sure that I could source them. I could find them. It's probably going to cost me a good penny, but if I were to mess one up, I absolutely would replace it, no questions asked. But I don't have anything in writing saying that. And when I said it's unprofessional, I was thinking people were having waivers saying that I would not replace it, and it's not, you know, if my machine messes up, you know, it's not on me. Like, I've literally seen people say that in some of their waivers, like saying that it's, I don't know. That part I think is unprofessional. But if you're saying, like, in writing, you know, I understand mistakes happen and I would be willing to replace it. I don't know. It's something I'm considering and thinking about. It's not something I've adopted yet. But if I do, I absolutely would take you along on that journey as well, and we would do a whole series on that. But anyways, I forgot what I was saying. ADHD in its finest. I definitely go through rabbit holes, so I hope that thank you all for all of you who support and love my channel and continue to watch me even when I'm rabbit trailing around. So what I was saying is I'm one of the few people that take items in and embroider them. So what was a surprise about this client in particular was the hospice Satilla actually, there's a woman in my church who works for this company, so I assumed when this lady called me that she got my name from the woman from my church. She did not. That name never even came up. She was referred to me by the local a local shop in town who does the t-shirt transfers and embroidery. So I think that they focus a lot more on their transfers, but they also do a lot of embroidery, and they are a bit of a competition as far as like my sports sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff that I'm making for the fans, like the high school football fans and the high school football moms and the soccer moms and like all of that. Yes, it definitely feels like competition, because obviously they have a full business front and they can push out more and they can do more, and because they have an inventory, like they can get their supplies cheaper. And so it's like I feel like I can't even compete, and like I literally had to not follow them on Facebook because I would just get this like tightness in my chest, because I would just feel like frustrated that, you know, they were doing so well. And we are in totally different journeys. We are in totally different realms. Like, yes, we do similar things, but a lot of what I do is taking things down. And I do a lot of the sweatshirts and the t-shirts, and I'm busy, y'all. Like, I'm as busy as I want to be. Probably a little bit more busy than I want to be sometimes. So if I were to have a volume of of requests that she was having or she has, I wouldn't be able to keep up. So it's really not competition, but you know, sometimes you get stuck in your emotions. So anyways, all this long thing to say, that's actually who referred me. That local shop owner is the one who, obviously, we're on Facebook together. Like, I've never met her in person, but obviously she's seen my name tagged in, like, when someone's like, hey, I need, does anyone know who does monogramming in town, blah, blah, blah. My name gets tagged a lot, and so does her shop. So obviously, I'm sure if you're a human being, you check out, well, what is this? Who is this? You know, who is this Joy Elizabeth? So I'm sure she's checked me out. I'm sure. I've obviously checked them out. So anyways, they don't take items into their shop to embroider, but I obviously do. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sure that my name was given. And I just felt like, man, that just made me feel good, knowing that shop doesn't necessarily see me as competition. They're open enough to what I do to actually point people, hey, you know, I don't do that. We don't take your items in and embroider them, but let me give you this girl in town. She does it. And so that's how I got that. So all that being said, that's why I was like set on, I want to make this work, because I'm gonna post pictures of this amazing job that I did on my Facebook page. And of course, if she follows me or she, you know, knows people, whatever, she'll see it. And I want to do her proud. You know, I want to be like, thank you, you know. Anyways, so I hope that y'all found this video helpful. I hope that y'all learned something today. If nothing else, you learned when to say no if this is not something that you want to tackle. And if you don't have those clamps yet, if you don't have the shoe device and you were to get a bag like this, honestly, you would have to say no. Unless, please let me know in the comments if you have figured out a way to do something similar to this without the shoe device. I would love to know. I'm curious. Yeah, like I said, I tried, I don't know where it went now. Oh, it's right here. I've even like clamped this up in the corner here to see if I could get it to work, and I definitely got it to clamp on, but I just didn't feel like because the pocket, let me just show you real quick. I know this video is getting way longer than I expected it to be, but anyways, we don't need all that for now. So it would be like, okay, it would be like that. I mean, that might work too, but like if you have the older version, the 1501 or 1201, they don't sell these anymore. So if you don't have yourself one of these hat clamps already and you have the 1201 or the 1501, you're gonna have a hard time sourcing it. Maybe AliExpress, maybe get in the groups and see if anybody's willing to sell them, because not everybody loved them. I loved them. You've seen my other videos, you know I love this thing. But not everybody loved this device. And it's not gonna work on the mirror machine. I still have my 1201, so I definitely was like, maybe I can make this work and use it on my old machine. But actually it looked really good there, but also it looked really good there, and I haven't unzipped this and I haven't pinned this up. When I was trying to see how this would work with it all pinned up, it was a bit, it probably wasn't any more than a struggle than you saw with the shoe device. So if you don't have the shoe device and you do have one of these that works with your 1201 or your 1501, you might be able to make this work. Give it a try. And maybe you don't do it in the corner. Maybe you tell them I have to do it in the middle, and then this would definitely work. But like I said, you can't get that one anymore for your 1201 or your 1501 by machine. For the mirror machines, they're literally going to be releasing the new one very soon. I don't know when. I don't have any dates. I just know it's coming very soon. So, and I'm looking forward to getting one. So I think y'all should get one too if you have the mirror machine, if you have the new version machines. And once they release this baby, I'm going to be first in line to get one. You best believe it. So anyways, so that would work. But those two, between the shoe device and the pocket clamp, I really don't know how else you would do something like this. So let me know in the comments below if you know of another way, another trick, another tip. I'd love to know. And just let me know in the comments, what would you have done if you were in this situation? Would you have taken this on? Would you have said, never mind, it's too difficult? I would like to know what y'all think and what you would have done. So thank you guys again for watching and coming along with me on my embroidery journey as I learn new things, as I bring you guys just along for, you know what, the good times and the stressful times and the times when I'm not sure exactly what on earth I'm doing. So thank you guys again. I love you all. I hope to see you guys in the next video.